Hey, welcome back to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. But if this is the very first time you found me, yay, you're here. I'm so glad. My goal is to give you the heads up on filmmaking quality and content so you can make the best decision as to whether or not you want to spend time or money or both watching a specific film. So this specific film I'm reviewing today is called The Pope's Exorcist. This religious horror is now playing in select theaters. It's rated R and is an hour and 43 minutes. My movie review mom grade is a C plus, maybe a B minus. Let me explain why. First, I'll give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I liked and didn't like, as well as offer tips for parents, themes worth talking about, and recommendations for other movies that are sort of similar that I think you might like, or maybe even like better. So let's dive in. In a nutshell, this dark religious drama was directed by Julius Avery, leading the team of screenwriters, which consists of Michael Petroni, Evan Spiliotopoulos, R. Dean McCreary, and Chester Hastings. How'd I do pronouncing those names? The movie is loosely based on the life of Gabriele Amorth, an Italian priest who was an exorcist of the Diocese of Rome. The story is based on files of the Catholic priest that revealed a secret that the Vatican was trying to keep hidden. Now, I've always found movies like this to be super creepy because I do believe in the devil. Do you? Comment down below. When I was a little girl, I remember hearing people talk about the movie The Exorcist, but it wasn't something my parents were ever going to take me to go see. Plus, the thought of it scared me to death, and I still have never seen that movie. Some are calling this movie a mix between the Da Vinci Code meets The Exorcist. In other words, there's some mystery and intrigue and lots of, not so much the head spinning, but the crazy, being possessed kind of stuff. So there were some things that I liked about this movie. First of all, Russell Crowe is really great in this movie, I thought. I love that he's trying out his talents in different genres. We even get to hear him speak Italian as well as speak English with an Italian accent. Despite the dark theme, he brings welcome humor to his character and to the film in general. In fact, it was his idea to have Father Amorth ride a Vespa. I actually got to ride a Vespa in Tuscany, Italy, many years ago. I felt like such a local. The legendary Italian actor Franco Nero plays the Pope, although he's not in very many scenes. The rest of the cast did a very good job and includes Alex Esso, Laurel Marsden, Ryan O'Grady, Cornel John, and more. Now, I don't usually like horror movies and wouldn't have even seen this movie, except I like Russell Crowe and was curious about this role and what he would do with it. This is the very first time he's ever even starred in a horror flick, and I think he may have found another genre that he's great at and that I think audiences will enjoy him in. We get to visit Italy and Spain in the movie. I always love traveling in film. I lived in Spain twice back in the 1980s. I left a piece of my heart there. So for all of you Spaniards, que viva España! Woo! I thought that the special effects were pretty good. And if you enjoy this kind of movie especially, you'll be happy to know that the ending allows for sequels to continue the story. In a weird way, I kind of got a kick out of watching Russell Crowe kick demon butt. So would you want a sequel to this? Comment down below. Let me know what you think. Now, all that being said, there were some things that I didn't like about the movie. First of all, I always really worry about young children in horror movies or really, icky R-rated movies and how their roles might actually emotionally harm them. Young Peter DeSouza-Feighoney did an excellent job One thing I don't like is watching young kids swear. So he's super creepy. He swears and, he's possessed. And so I hope he's okay. This is the mom and me talking. Some viewers have said that they don't think that this movie is scary. I definitely did, but that's probably because I'm not used to watching horror movies and I don't actually enjoy being scared and I don't like the creepy satanic stuff. Now, let me give you some tips for parents. This movie is not appropriate for children's viewing. There is some profanity, including F-bombs and F-bombs spoken by a young boy. I hate that. Italian and Spanish are spoken, and you have to read the subtitles if you don't speak Spanish or Italian. We see two boys who are possessed by devils. A priest drinks alcohol. We see blood, gore, and skeletons and creepy stuff. But the themes that are represented in the movie are, and very well, I might add, are theology, faith, God versus demons, good versus evil, the Catholic Church hierarchy and politics within it, suffering, guilt, possession, temptation, sin, a little bit of the Spanish Inquisition, and past burdens and repentance. So I always try to write down funny lines and interesting lines to give you a taste for the movie and kind of a feel for what the dialogue is all about. You can see all of my comments and my whole review on my website, moviereviewmom.com, but I'll share just a couple of the comments with you right now. So Russell Crowe plays, as I mentioned, Father Gabriel Amorth, and he says, the devil does not like jokes, which is interesting because he's kind of making jokes and being playful to some extent with the devil in the movie. Now, some interesting lines are, again, this one spoken by Russell Crowe, where he says, we will only be judged by how much we love. And I thought that was an interesting line. And there's definitely a relationship between love and sin and sacrifice. And that's all demonstrated well in the movie. And then another line that he says is, my faith does not require defense. And I thought that was interesting. And, there are a lot of Christians who claim to be Christians. And I often ask myself, if I were being placed in a court of law and accused of being a Christian, would there be enough evidence to convict me? And I think that that's kind of a good way to look at it. What are you doing? Not that it's all about your works, because a large part of it is your faith. But as they say, faith without works is dead. Anyway, not a big religious segue going on in here. Just thought I'd throw that out. And then here's another interesting line is, this priest is battling it out with this demon. There's this demon who says his name is blasphemy, a nightmare. And we see several different demons. But anyway, so this demon says to the priest, God is not here. And the priest says, God is everywhere. And I loved that, kind of like, yeah. And then I thought this line was very sweet. Motherhood and a mother's love is a theme in the movie. And the priest says, a mother's love is the closest thing we know to God's love. And I've heard that many times. And of course, as a mother, I believe it's true. All right, so let me give you some recommendations for a couple of movies that I instantly thought of. The first one, of course, being the classic original movie, The Exorcist. Again, I haven't seen it, but I've heard a lot about it for years. So anyway, check that one out. If you like this kind of thing, is what I'm saying. And then another one that people are comparing this movie to is The Conjuring, and how that's creepy and there's possession and stuff like that. All right. So not my cup of tea, but kudos to Russell Crowe. I thought he did a good job. And I'm curious to see if he's going to continue on in this role. We'll find out. If it's a moneymaker, guess what the answer is? Yeah. All right. Have a fantastic day. And I will catch you in the next movie review. Bye for now.